How to apply spirituality in business. How can we apply the spiritual principles that we have learned in business? So, as much as spirituality seems not to mix with business, it actually is very much needed in business, and it's very much lacking in the Western world. Spirituality, knowing thyself, in other words, I don't even like to give it a label such as spirituality, because every time, once you give something a label, people attach all kinds of funny ideas to labels. So I like to call it what is. Not what we think about what is, not what we believe what is to be, just what is. And that's what I mean when I say spirituality. So when I'm referring to spirituality, I'm talking about what is. Who and what we are, and what is really going on. What is. Outside of our beliefs, outside of what we think is going on, just really what is going on. That's what is. Here now. Not what is, what happened, not what will happen, what is. I don't know if you can even make that into a label. What is. So, when you observe what is and who and what you are here now, you realize that we are not what we think we are. Right? Especially, when we come in, a lot of us are young. We're looking to grow. The young people, coming out of high school, they want to grow. They want to start their life. They want to find their path in life. And over the years, society has kind of helped create a type of persona for us. Either they helped shape our persona along with our belief, because if we don't believe people what they tell us, it has no effect on us. We have to believe it in order for it to become real for us. If someone tells me, for example, hey, you're a loser, if I don't believe what they say, it has no effect. But the moment I believe what that person tells me, I'm now putting limiting beliefs on myself. So we come with all kinds of limiting beliefs, things that we've gathered from society, how people usually relate to themselves. So we begin to start creating our own persona, relating to ourselves as separate individuals. So observing what is spirituality helps us realize, by observing our breath, we realize that we're breathing in from the environment, we breathe out into the environment. And that realization helps us bring us to another realization, and that we also eat from the environment, and our waste goes back out into the environment. Which leads to another realization that there actually cannot be a human being without an environment. Which brings us to the next realization then, that the human being is the environment. It's a human being hyphen environment. Which then brings us into an even deeper insight. We go a little deeper now, and we realize, hold on a second, where is the beginning of the environment and the end? Where is the edge? There is no edge. The environment is the universe. And that instantly is a boundary dissolving experience, because you realize then who you thought you were is not at all who you are. Because the image in your mind of your body that you hold of yourself, that image does not even include the environment that you're one with, the universe that you are. It's not even one with. You are it. You cannot. It's impossible to be separated from it in any way. And everyone is connected to the same universe. And everyone is therefore each other. One. Not uniformly one, like the same thing. Just like the body has different fingers, right? This thumb is different, looks different from this. It's not uniform, right? But they're all one body. It's all different. We're all different. We're all different parts of this one universe. Right? But then it goes even, then you can go even a step deeper than that. Is it not true to say that you are always observing your self-image? You're the one witnessing the self-image? So who's the one witnessing the image, the self-image? The self-image, your self-image can change. But the one that's witnessing the self-image doesn't change. So you realize that what we are is not a thing. Consciousness is not a thing. Consciousness witnesses everything. Everything that comes and goes, but it itself doesn't come nor go. And when you look for consciousness to see what am I, you try to look for yourself. If you try to find consciousness, yourself, that which is aware of your experience as an object, you're not going to find anything. That'd be like equivalent to a movie character, an actor or actress looking for the screen in the movie. And the screen never appears in the movie because the movie is in the screen. The movie of life is in the screen of consciousness. The screen of consciousness never appears in the movie. And we are the consciousness because we're conscious. That's how we know we exist. I know I exist because my first experience is that I'm aware. I can't even talk about anything else if I'm not even aware of it. I can't have any experience without being aware, being conscious. So consciousness is first. Now, the one that's aware has no shape or form. It's not an object. This is who we thought we were is not who we are. Who we thought we are, we're not that image. It's an illusion. That was a delusion that we were under. We believed in illusion and it became our delusion, and then it became our reality. So why is this good news? It's good news because we perceive the universe within ourselves. We're not the small little old me. Oh, look at me. Look at me. I can't do anything. Oh, I'm so insignificant. I'm dust of the dust of the dust. I'm so tiny. Look at this scary universe. No. Now it's I am the universe. I am everyone here, and I love everyone because it's all me. And therefore, if it's me, the universe can never say no to me. It brings you to a whole new level of trust and faith in yourself and in the universe that is inside of you. Not a universe that you're in, a universe that's inside of you, including your body as well. It's all inside of you. It's also looking and realizing, that what we're looking at right now is a perception in our mind. The mind decodes. It's decoding. We don't know if it's decoding something. All I know is we're seeing a perception. Why am I saying that? Well, if we're dreaming, right? There is no real world out there. It's a dream. It's happening inside of us. But so we don't know when we're dreaming. We don't know, or when we're awake. There's no way to really determine whether you're having a perception of something, because if you try to find any actual evidence that there is a physical universe outside of your perception, outside of your field of knowing, field of witnessing, outside your field of consciousness, you can't find it. And I encourage you to look right now. What evidence do you have that there is a physical universe outside of your perception? Because the perception is witnessed by you, so the perception is inside of you. What evidence do you have that there is a physical universe out there outside of your perception of mind? Look. Listen. You hear the music? It's all a perception in the mind. The mind is decoding, right? If it is something out there, then it's decoding it. But we don't know that because we dream things and there's nothing there. It's just a dream. So how do we know this is not a dream? Now, when we go into law of attraction, we start to realize that, hold on a second. I can set an intention with faith, love, and conviction, and surrender to what I am, the consciousness that I am, that this universe is in, and it will happen instantaneously. Or I can think a thought and somebody else will be thinking the same thought at the same time, even though we just had a conversation about something totally different. Or I'll see somebody that I just thought about, or see something that I just thought about. We're living in a mental universe. It's a perception. It's just like a dream. And if you're looking at it as a physical world, you will be limited because you're not How do you know this thing is physical? How do you know? Because you can feel it? How do you know this is really a physical body? Don't you, if there's a chair here, right? When I touch the chair, this is what we were taught. When I touch the chair, signals go from the nerve ends here straight up my arm all the way up to my brain, and then I know I'm touching something, right? So if it's just our mind interpreting something, how do you know it's there? How do you know it's interpreting something? It's all happening in your mind. There's no escaping it. Everywhere we look, all we see, hear, touch, feel is only our perception and mind. The body is a thought. That's what I'm trying to say. The body is a thought. This world is a thought. This is a universal mind that we're living in. Inside of us. It's a mental universe. When you become lucid, you start to become aware. What am I? What is experience? What is the source of my experience? What is the source of sight? The experience of seeing, the experience of feeling. And then you start to realize what you really are. We are this infinite consciousness, which is not a thing. And that means that we have infinite potential. So the question is now, are you really living up to your full potential? Have you noticed how you can imagine something and then make it into a reality? Are you really using the power of your mind? Or is the mind controlling you? This is the question. My mind was used to control me because I let it. It really didn't control me. I was giving it permission to control me. Because I chose to believe those thoughts. Now I noticed for many years now that if I don't believe the thought is nothing. It is nothing at all. So you can become, in this dream, in this mental universe, whatever you want. You can dream anything you want. You can have the experience of being anything that you want. But what you really are never changes. All this becoming, coming and going is all happening within you. Now how does this help me in business? I want to earn money. How is this helping me? Well, it's showing us that we are not living in a world that the world is not what we think it is. We are not who we think we are. We see that clearly. We were not. Everything I thought I was is gone. That was a complete delusion. It's very clear at this point that it was a delusion. And then that shows us that all our self-doubts, everything that we thought about ourselves, all of that dissolves in the light, in the fire of self-realization, of self-inquiry. When you're going through the inquiry and you realize who and what you are, by also realizing what you're not. Because in order to know what you are, you have to know what you're not. And you investigate, and then you see. In that light, everything, all the illusions, delusions, the limiting beliefs dissolve. Now that you know yourself as this infinite consciousness creator, that's doing all this without any effort. Now you can begin to create your life effortlessly. But in order to do that, you have to be yourself. Be this infinite self that you are. If you identify only as the body-mind, you're going to be limited by the body-mind. If you identify that with that in which the body-mind appears in, you're limitless. You've always been limitless. You just we've been under all this illusion. I've had that same feelings like I used to feel inside my soul. I feel it in my core. There's no real separate soul. I mean, I used to feel it in my core that I'm much more than I've been told. I feel it. I feel this infinite power. But I felt like it was in a box. Like it's locked. And only when I finally dissolved all my limiting beliefs did my full infinite potential began to awaken. And so this shows us that we can literally do anything. Anything we set our mind to. You don't need to know how you're going to get there. All you got to do is feed your mind a suggestion. Your job is mind to get me there. You figure out the how. You don't have to figure it out because you're not your mind. Let your mind do the job for you. This is a mental universe. This is your mind, your world. Own it. Thank you. Namaste. Peace.